honored to deliver this statement on behalf of the European Union and its 27 member states. Last year shattered climate records with temperatures as high as 1.5 degrees above pre-industrial levels. And unfortunately, it looks as if 2024 will be doing the exact same thing. And with this ever hotter climate and its ever more extreme impacts, we are truly moving into unknown territory. And it is against this backdrop that today's high-level meeting and the 2 years process it launches are both timely and of extreme importance. Let me turn briefly to two of the truly crucial elements of which our common efforts to address the effects of climate change and sea level rise in particular, in my view, should focus. Mitigation and building climate resilience through adaptation. So first on mitigation. There is no time. There is no time to bury our heads in the sand a moment longer. It is essential that we keep working towards net zero in 2050. And that means we must cut emissions. And we have no alternative than truly do that together. And we have to make it our top priority. For the European Union, it means that we have to and will uphold our commitment to reach climate neutrality in 2050. And this objective is part of our climate law, and we are well on our way to implementing the policies needed to achieve that transition in a way that is both fair and just and enables clean economic growth. And in this realm, it is important to recall the advisory opinion of the International Tribunal for the Laws of the Sea on a request which was submitted by the Commission of Small Island States on Climate Change and on International Law. It was found that parties to the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea actually do have an obligation of due diligence to take all the necessary measures to prevent, to reduce, and to control marine pollution from anthropogenic greenhouse gas emissions. And therefore it is our collective duty to act now to address the effects of climate change. And that brings me to climate resilience, because curbing emissions, unfortunately, will not be enough in the here and the now. We must accept that climate risks are growing, and taking action to adapt and become more resilient to them is necessary in our heating climate. Like all other regions in the world, Europe is facing major climate hazards itself, and they range from extreme weather to heat waves, storms and extreme precipitation, as witnessed literally today in Central Europe, where we've lost, unfortunately, also a number of lives. And of course, this is part of the longer-term phenomena, also such as sea level rise that we see in our coastal areas. Rising sea levels are exacerbating floods in Europe. And already there are roughly 100,000 European citizens who are exposed to coastal floodings every single year. And I know myself, coming from a country that lies for the better part below sea level. And I can therefore relate wholeheartedly, and I'm intimately familiar with understanding the ever higher stakes for vulnerable countries and low-lying island states around the world, whose communities are seeing their lands, unfortunately, literally wash away. And I want you to know that the EU is with you in this struggle. We will continue to fight for greater ambition on mitigation and to support as much as we can with adaptation and the measures that we have to take in the domain of loss and damage. And to overcome these challenges, it is of vital importance that we act now and we adapt to inevitable impacts of climate change. To be more specific, coastal protection needs to consider the full spectrum of adaptation solutions. And that means we must work from forecasting and early warning systems to flood-proofing infrastructure and the capacity to retreat from high-risk areas, wherever possible. And in most cases, we need a combination